In this video, we are going to learn about multi-valued form components. Now, why I have used the word multi-valued? Let's first understand this. I am asking for only one detail. Okay, let's say if I have a form and I'm asking for just one detail, that is the name of the user. So in that case, that form is called as a single valued form because I'm just asking for a single value from a user. If I am asking for two values, let's say either username and password, so it becomes a dual valued form. But when I'm asking for more than two details, it is called as the multi-valued form components. So in this video, we are going to learn how to deal with multi-valued form components. You must have seen these forms, right? Let's take a very popular example of Facebook. So the very first step that we did was we registered ourselves on Facebook, right? So at that time, it asked us for a lot of details like name, username, email ID, phone number, maybe date of birth, gender. Okay, so they asked for a lot of details. So that is called as a multi-valued form component because it was asking more than two values. So we will be learning how to create this form and how to access the data that user has entered. So let's see this practically. We will just go to our IDE. Okay, so let's make the form. So to make the form, we use HTML as we know. Let's say body tag, then form. Okay, whenever we want to access the details of a user or we want to take the user input, we make use of forms. So here I will first say input type is equal to text. Let's first make the field of username. I'll just say name is equal to username. Now this name attribute is used to access the value that user has entered. So we already know this. I'll just say span username like this. Okay. Now I will just say br so that we will just break the line. And now I will say span. Let's create one more field for password. Input type is equal to text and let's give it the name like password. Just break the line once more. So I'll just show you how it looks. I will just show you. I'll just reload this page. Okay, so it is looking something like this. I have made one field for username and one field for password. Okay, so I'll just put a colon as well. Now let's make one more field for email ID. Okay, I will just make one more field. So I will say input type is equal to email. In this case, type will become email. Okay, and in this case, the type should be password. Okay, don't keep it text. Let's keep it password. Name, let's say email. Name attribute is used to access the value that user has entered. br. Okay, now let's go for gender. We can say okay, I'll just say span. First I will male. Type is equal to radio. We know we make use of radio buttons, so let's keep the name as gender. And let's give the value as male. Span female. Input type is equal to radio and name is equal to gender. Give the value field as a female. Okay, so you must have noticed that I have used the same value of name for these two. That's because these two are the radio buttons, and we know at a time only one can be chosen. If I give an option of male and female, I can choose only one, right? I cannot choose both of them. So to implement that functionality, we have to give the same value to this name attribute. So that's why I have given gender and gender. Because if I give this a different value, I will be able to choose both of them. But a person cannot have two gender, right? So that's why we have to implement this functionality. So let's see, I will again just show you the output, how it looks. Okay. So see, I have male and female. These are called the radio buttons. And if I choose male, I cannot choose female. But if I choose female, I cannot. So I can choose either of them. But if I give different name, let's say I give it as gender 1. Okay. So now I will be able to choose both of them. See, male and male. That's because now my names are different. Okay, so the name value of the name attribute should be same only in case of radio buttons. This is one thing to note, only in case of radio buttons. Okay, and now we can just go for a drop down. Okay, let's create a drop down. Okay, so that it looks like it is our complete registration form. So what I will do is I'll say select. Okay, this is the way to create a drop down. Okay, so I'll just show you option, just copy. Okay, so now I will just give out any name, let's say languages, and no need to give id. Okay, if you do give, if you give, there is no problem, but I'm not giving it. Let's give the value as php. Then I'll just give here as Java, let's say Java. Here I can give out a value Python, and let's give Python. And here I can give value, let's say MySQL, and I can say MySQL. Okay. So now I will just show you the output and then I will explain what I have done. Okay, so this is the drop down. Okay, and if I click on it, I'm able to see PHP, Java. So I can choose any one. If I click on Python, it will be chosen. If I choose MySQL, it will be chosen. Okay. So this is the way you can make drop down. Okay, in HTML you can use select tags. Okay, and inside that you can give as many option tags as you want. Here I only want 4 options. Okay, if you want more than that, you can do that. Now what this means, value PHP, is if user clicks on PHP, this value will be chosen, and then I can access this value using this name attribute. See, here I have given the name attribute value to this attribute as languages. So through this I can access the value which user has chosen. Okay, so now I will just create one submit button. So as soon as user selects the clicks on submit button, we will access all the details. So I'll just say submit. Let's give the value as submit, and let's give the name as submit. Okay, so I think everything is looking perfect. So now I will just show you the user interface, how it looks. Okay, so I have username, password, email id, gender, a drop down, and then I have a submit button. Okay, so now I will just give the attributes. Action will, I'm not specifying any file because I want the execution to remain here itself. I will write the PHP script here only. Okay, outside the form tag. Okay, here I will just say PHP. Okay, and method, let's keep it as post. Or okay, now I will just say if is set dollar underscore post. Okay, it should be inside this PHP, right? Here it should just say submit. Okay. Now, what I have done is, let's see. Now I have made a form, okay, which consists of several fields: username, password, email ID, and everything. Okay, so it is looking something like this. So user can enter details here. Okay, it can add any details here. It can do like this: select any value and click submit. Okay, so this is very easy. Okay, now I have given an attribute called name. Now this name attribute is used to access the value that user has entered, because if a user enters any value, I should be able to access it, right? So that can be done using the name attribute. Type means, here in case of username, the username is in text only, right? So that's why I have mentioned the type as text. Now in case of password, I have mentioned the type as password. So if you do that, you might have noticed that I am unable to see what user has typed. That's because the type is password, so it is hidden. Email ID, the type is email. Okay, and radio buttons, I have radio buttons, two radio buttons for gender, male and female, so only one can be chosen, and that can be implemented if we give the same value to the name attribute. Okay, and then I have a drop down, so user can choose one value of the four values which I have given here, and whatever value user has chosen, I can access it using this name attribute. Okay, and then I have simply given a submit button. So what I'm saying is, here is set means if user clicks on the submit button, then only execute this code, because firstly user will have to enter all these details, and when it clicks on the submit button, then only this code should be executed. So here inside PHP, I will be accessing all the details of the user, and I will just print it for now. You can do various operations with that data. You can take that data and store it in the database, or maybe use it for any other operation. In this video, I'm just echoing out that data. And here action attribute means where all the data should go. So you can move this data to some other file, or maybe you can remain in this file. So for now I just want to remain in this file only, so that's why I haven't specified anything inside the action attribute. Method means post. Now we have two ways to access these values. First is the post method, and second is the get method. Post method is secure, and if you use get method, you will get to see the values in the URL, but that is not the case with the post method. So that's why post value is considered to be secure. Okay, I will show you the difference when we will execute this, but this is about the form. Okay, now I will just access all the values, okay, using the post. Since I am using the post method, I will access all the values using the post method. So let's make a variable called $username, where I will be storing the name of the user. Okay, so I will just say, now in order to access the username that my user has entered, I make use of this thing, $_post, and inside this you have to pass the name attribute. Here the value of the name attribute is username, so just pass that user name. So what this will do is, the method is post, that's why I have used $_post. So this is an associative super global array. So whenever what happens is, user will click on submit, all these details will be stored inside this post array. And I'm just accessing the username, means username is the key and it has a value, right? So that value I'm storing inside this variable. And what I will do at the same time, I will echo this out. Okay, I will just echo this out. Just here I will break the line so that everything gets printed onto the new line. Similarly, I will try to access the password as well. So for that, I will store inside another variable. You can even simply print out like this as well. Like I can say $_post and the I want to access the password, right? So in this case, the name attribute has the value password. So I will just pass here password and just I can echo it out as it is. So you can store the value inside this variable and you can perform any operation that you like. Here I'm simply echoing out. Similarly, I will do for password $_post and here I have given the value email in the name attribute in case of email ID. So I will just say here email and I'll just say dot er. Okay. Now same way for radio button as well. I'll just say $_post and here the name is gender. So I will just say gender. Just print this on a new line. Everything on a new line. And last but not the least, we have languages. So only one will be chosen. I'll just say echo $_post and I'll just say languages. Okay, languages. That's all. Now I will just run this code. Okay, let's run this code. I'll just refresh this. Okay, we have done something mistake. So let's go on line 31. Okay, here I haven't put okay. Now again, let's reload this. Okay. So I'll just type the username as Kevin. Let's give the password as maybe 123456. Email ID, let's give as Kevin @gmail.com. And I am male and let's choose the language as PHP. So when I submit this, what will happen is I will get to see all the details. Kevin 123456, my email, my gender is male, and the language that I chose is PHP. Okay, so like this, you can access all the details that user has entered via the form like this. If the method is post, see there are two methods, okay, that you can go for. Now I have used post, so that's why I'm unable to see the values in the URL. But let's say if I use the method get, there are two ways, two methods, okay. Let's say if I use the method get, so I have to make changes here. Instead of post, I have to write here get. In case of in the place of post, I will write get and here as well I will write get get here as well I'll write get. Now I will just save this. Okay, now see, now instead of post I have used get method. Now these two are associative arrays, means whenever the user will fill all the details and click submit, all these details will be stored inside get array or the post array depending on what we have used. But get is not much secure, so let's see why. I will just say Kevin 123456. I will just give out the email as maybe I can give, let's say 123. I am male, or sorry, I mistake. Let's say again, let's say Kevin 123456. I'll just give out the as this mail and PHP. Okay, now let's choose the language as MySQL. And when I click on submit, just notice the URL. You will get to see all the values in the URL. So let's submit. As you can see, all the values are we are able to see in the URL. I'll just username is Kevin, password is 123456, email is this. So that's what I said, that post method is secure than get. When you use get, you get to see all the values in the URL, and that we don't want. That's why most of the times people use post method, because it is secure. So either you can use get or post, okay, and you can access all the values that user has entered using this method. Okay, so this is all about multi-valued form components in PHP.